With details of the ACC adding the 3 new schools, we now know, thanks to a Ross Dellenger story, that the ACC also made a run at Arizona and Arizona State, trying to take them right from out under the Big 12's nose, but it did not happen. Plus, SMU made a full pitch to the Big 12 as well. Details coming up here in this video. I am John Kurtz on this channel, talking conference realignment, college football, college basketball, all the time from a Big 12 slant. So if you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. I'm live on Wednesdays and Sundays. The live shows are a ton of fun, and I give you some extra content like this. You can support the channel on Venmo at John-Kurtz-4. Another easy way to support, just like the video, one click, very easy. Leave a comment in the comment section whether you agree, disagree, love, or hate me. All of that stuff helps me with the YouTube algorithm. It is much appreciated. Okay, we're going to get into this Ross Dellenger story. Yahoo, he did a chronological detailing of how all this went down starting at the beginning of August, which is where, for Big 12 fans, I think most of the intrigue will come into play here as to how it got to the point where Stanford, Cal, SMU wound up in the ACC. So we start on August 1st. Ross Dellenger says, by this point, on the same day the Pac-12 revealed its streaming-only media package to league presidents, the ACC had seriously engaged in expansion discussions with Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Cal, and Stanford. Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Cal, and Stanford. The move was triggered by Colorado's departure from the Pac-12, which was made official July 27th. The ACC's conversations with the 5 schools were serious. Phillips held discussions with the 5 presidents. However, while there was some momentum in the endeavor, the ACC found itself behind a rival Power 5 conference, the Big 12, which had both geography and time on its side. Commissioner Brett Yormark had been pursuing the Arizona schools in Utah for months and had held intense discussions with Arizona specifically. So, important point to make here, Brett Yormark was ready. Brett Yormark had been doing his homework, had the Big 12 in position pretty far down that road with Arizona. He was ready to strike, utilize his advantages, which obviously geography was a huge part of that, not having to do crazy travel if you are some of these 4 corner schools, and that helped the Big 12 win out. Just another point to accentuate that it is great the Big 12 has a commissioner who is as proactive and sharp as him. Now, I understand the reason the ACC was in this position was because of the Colorado move, and that was all because of Brett Yormark doing this in the first place. So, you had to have him to be there, to be the guy that was ready here in this scenario. But he's been killing it, and he was able to hold off the ACC making a run there at those schools. August 7th, during that weekend, ACC athletic directors met on a call Saturday where, to the surprise of some, the idea of expansion was presented as very much alive. By Monday, August 7th, the possibility of expanding to add Stanford, Cal, and now SMU became a real reality. So you see there, an interesting thing to point out here. SMU was not mentioned in that first update where it was Cal, Stanford, and then Utah, Arizona, Arizona State. It was after that, after the Big 12 seemingly had closed and was not going to let those schools get away, that SMU comes into the picture now for the ACC. You have to credit the Mustangs for doing as much as they did to get significantly into the conversation. We'll find out later that some of those talks had been going on for about a year, but to put themselves significantly in the conversation to where it happened, they did have to move pretty fast there after at first it was different schools that were being mentioned. Back to the article, it says, with other power leagues increasing in membership, some ACC officials felt pressure to also add members, a strength in numbers approach, says one source. The move would also increase revenue, something that is critical for a league whose programs are restless over the gap between it and the SEC and Big Ten. The expansion also gave the conference a foothold in populous areas. All right, August 9th. August 9th, for the first time, SMU emerges publicly as a third team in the expansion package in a report by Yahoo. The school and ACC have been engrossed in what many consider a fickle courtship for more than a year. Fickle courtship. All right, so this has been going on for a long time. SMU did not come out of nowhere for the ACC. This was a fickle courtship for more than a year. The Mustangs offered to enter the league without receiving revenue shares for as many as 7 years. At that time, it was 7. It would eventually morph into 9. SMU offered similar proposals to both the Pac-12 and Big 12 to no avail. So when the Pac-12 was mulling over SMU, and we were all wondering about that, and George Kliavkov was at SMU basketball games, we now know SMU is saying, hey, we'll come and give you the sweetheart deal. 7 years, our boosters will take care of it. Do not worry about this next TV contract. We've got you covered. And then, of course, we hear now that they made the same pitch to the Big 12. The obvious problem there with the Big 12 being you've already got DFW covered with TCU. and diminishing returns if you're going to just lump SMU into that as well, no matter how much money they actually have. More from the article, it says, but ACC administrators see the school as a good academic fit, an ideal location for a foothold, and maybe more than anything, an affordable move. How about this? We just want in, says one SMU benefactor. Oh, we know. We know, SMU. We know. During a president's call on a Wednesday night, an expansion proposal to add Stanford and Cal fails by a vote of 11-4. 12 of 15 votes are needed for a passage. Clemson, FSU, North Carolina, NC State cite a variety of factors for their position opposing the expansion. 1, they don't believe there is enough additional revenue to incentivize such a move. 2, they're against the lengthy cross-country travel at a time when athlete health and well-being is at the center of an athlete's rights movement. And 3, they believe the conference should not prioritize expansion and should extend focus on a further revenue distribution model from the base TV money. So they're all saying, look, this is dumb. Geography doesn't make sense. We don't want to travel. We don't want to do this to our students. And you guys need to focus on getting us more cash. That was basically the stance there before North Carolina State flipped. August 21st, Phillips met with the presidents and later ADs from the 4 dissenting schools to present them a new financial model. And this seemingly is what made things flip. Stanford and Cal entering the league at a 30% share for 7 years, far less than originally planned. And SMU entering at a 0 share for 9 years. That freed up more than $50 million in new money from ESPN. A portion of the new money will be evenly distributed to the original member schools, while an estimated $25 to $30 million will be placed in an athletic success pool for distribution. Number 2 here, the other part that helps sway things and a key component to reduce travel, the 15 original ACC members will only be required to send one of their sports to the Bay Area once every 2 years. So the OG members, the ones that are already there, they're only going to have to send their Olympic sports to the Bay Area every other year. Under another component, Eastern members and the 2 new Western members would meet in Dallas to conduct competition in Olympic sports. I mean, I see why that's a solution here, but that is one of the lamest things to come from this. If you're going to a Stanford or a Cal to play your sport, we're going to make you play neutral site games in freaking Dallas against teams from the ACC instead of on campus and that environment. And I mean, that's how you know we've really jumped the shark here, but it's the toothpaste is out of the tube, unfortunately. So we are where we are. It says SMU's location provides a sensible central hub. So SMU not only is going to come in for free, but then they're going to be potentially a hub for everybody to meet up and play some Olympic sports. August 24th. By this point, Phillips has met in small groups with every president in the league to present the new financial model, and he completes a week of meetings by presenting the model to the full group of ADs on Thursday. On Friday, there's a sense that presidents from both Carolina schools and even Florida State are seriously considering changing their vote. Quote, the league has done a good job of finding a solution. I think this is eventually going to pass, said one official from those 4 schools. Clemson, though, made their stance clear. The Tigers are against this expansion proposal. So Clemson, I guess, in the end was as staunchly against it as anybody, but NC State did flip, and that is what made the difference. Even with North Carolina sticking against it, NC State went against what the politics would have suggested in the state and went ahead and did that. Final vote time. From the time that the president's call was originally scheduled to the time it actually transpired, which was roughly 4 days, Florida State officials ended any flirtation with supporting the measure and told colleagues they were joining Clemson in voting it down. North Carolina, Florida State, and Clemson's positions didn't faze NC State Athletic Director Boo Corrigan and President Woodson. As early as last weekend, the school had decided to change its vote given the new financial proposal. And that, my friends, is how we got there. That is how we got to the point where this actually happened. Great reporting by Ross Dellenger walking us through this whole process. Syncs up with the updates that we were being given along the way, and very interesting to get all the details on the ACC trying to make a run for those 4 corner schools, the Big 12 holding them off, and then SMU just spraying it around to everybody, man. They were trying to get in anywhere and everywhere and utilizing this strategy with their deep pockets to just pay their way in. And it worked. It worked. Credit to the ponies on that front. They got into the ACC. For more updates like this, please do subscribe to the channel. Live shows on Wednesday and Sunday. They are a lot of fun. Talking conference realignment, college football, college basketball from a Big 12 angle, always on this channel. John Kurtz-4 on Venmo if you'd like to support the channel. Also, like the video, leave a comment in the comment section. All of that stuff really helps as well. Totally free way to support the channel as well. Thank you guys for being here. Take care, and I will talk to you soon.